Russia warned Ecuador about the reaction to the transfer of Russian equipment to the United States. Ambassador, Russia will consider Ecuador's transfer of Russian equipment to the United States unfriendly. The Russian side will regard the transfer of weapons as a contribution to the conflict of one side and a violation of the position of neutrality declared by the President of Ecuador, warned Ambassador in Quito Vladimir Sprinchan. Russia will regard Ecuador's transfer of Russian military equipment to the United States as an openly unfriendly step, Ambassador to Quito Vladimir Sprinchan said on the Russia-Ecuador TV channel. We warned the authorities that this would be an unfriendly step, especially since the President of Ecuador announced his country's peacekeeping position regarding the special military operation and the conflict in Ukraine, Sprinchan said, quoted by TASS. The Russian side will regard the transfer of weapons as a contribution to the conflict of one side and a violation of the position declared by the head of state on neutrality and the search for possible even mediation between Russia and Ukraine to resolve this issue through diplomatic methods. According to him, Moscow is carefully checking information about the plans of the Ecuadorian authorities to exchange old military equipment of Russian and Ukrainian production for modern American weapons. The ambassador also noted that the unrest in the country should not affect the supply of bananas to Russia. Ecuadorian President Daniel Noboa, against the backdrop of a mafia rebellion, said in an interview with Canela Radio that the country expects to replace outdated Russian and Ukrainian military equipment with modern American weapons worth $200 million. He did not specify what kind of equipment he was talking about. The Prensa Latina agency clarified that Noboa spoke in an interview about the exchange of scrap metal for American equipment under an agreement between Quito and Washington until the end of January 2024. On January 9, the president met with U.S. Ambassador Michael Fitzpatrick and discussed the aid package with him. On January 8, Noboa declared a state of emergency in the country after the escape from prison of the leader of one of the Los Caneros mafia groups, Adolfo Macias, nicknamed Fito. Ecuadorian police associate this group with the Mexican crime syndicate Sinaloa. Simultaneously with the escape, riots broke out in several Ecuadorian prisons, and gang members took hostages. The next day, masked armed men stormed the TC television studio in Guayaquil during a live broadcast and took hostages. Police later reported that 13 people had been detained. Due to the seizure of the TV channel and the unrest, the Ecuadorian leader declared that the country was in a state of internal armed conflict, and also declared 22 groups as terrorist organizations and ordered the army to neutralize them. On the same day, the leader of the second-largest group in the country, Los Lobos, Fabricio Colón Pico, nicknamed Captain Pico, fled from the Chimborazo prison in the city of Riobamba. She, in particular, took responsibility for the murder of Ecuadorian presidential candidate Fernando Villavicencio in August 2023.